I made a huge financial mistake when I first moved to the UK, and it cost me real money. It cost me goodie. I wasn't using an ISA. I didn't even know what it was or how it worked, and that ignorance came with a price. In the next few minutes, I will explain all the ISAs, when to use each one, what they are for, and also how to optimize them to avoid one of the biggest financial mistakes I made. Stick around though, because if you are new to the UK, this could be the most important money tip you will hear all year. And if you've missed the earlier episodes in the series, baby, where have you been? If you're new here, hi, my name is Yvonne, and on this channel, I share my personal experiences, career, and personal finance tips. So I'll highly recommend that you subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment so you don't miss any videos from me. For now, let's begin.
Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work it out.
As an immigrant, when you arrive to a new place, you are learning everything from scratch. Personally, it took me some time to even be able to open an actual bank account. I was using Revolut for some time because the institution I wanted to bank with was asking for an arm and a leg just for proof of residency. Funny thing is, when my husband arrived, he opened an account with Lloyd's Bank with ease. He didn't go through any struggles. I was even shocked, and I had been here for about 2 years at the time, and I had recently opened a bank account. Before then, I was busy converting every penny and thinking about how far I can stretch every pound. If you tell me something is £10, I'll look at the thing, quickly convert, and decide either to buy or not to buy. Are you still doing that to me? I've stopped. Why? After a while, it will phase out. Also, I was saving for my MBA and my wedding, so I had some few coins there. It was not hundreds of thousands of pounds, but at least it was something that if I had known these ISAs, I would have been able to get something small from it before I used it to do my wedding, right? Now, it was after I spent most of the money on my wedding that I heard people talk about ISAs. Even then, I thought that was for rich people or people who are established in the UK or people who already have citizenship, because of course we are not permitted to get public funds. That's what I thought. So sometime later, I was talking to a co-worker at work, and she casually said, "Oh, I've been putting money in my stocks and shares ISA, and I've been earning interest on it tax-free." Mind you, I didn't even know the government charges tax on interest you earn on your investment or your savings. So in the UK, I thought you can just put the money in, just like we do back home. You earn your interest and then you go your way. After doing some extensive research and doing the maths, I realized that, my darling, we are busy surviving, working hard, and sending money back home, and missing out on opportunities that can actually help us build some form of wealth here. Since then, I have opened a cash ISA, I've opened a stocks and shares ISA, and I have opened a LISA, and I am going to explain this in detail, so bear with me. So let's start with cash ISAs. It functions like a savings account. You put your money in there, you earn interest on it. The only difference is that this interest that you will earn on the money will not be affected by tax. It's that simple, right? One thing I realized was that with cash ISAs, you could potentially earn higher interest over a regular bank savings account, but you just have to compare the two to see which one you are earning more from. Then you can make your choice. I remember back then I had a savings account with a regular bank, and they were giving me 1% interest rate. And when I checked, like I said, when I did the math, at the time the cash ISA was giving 5% interest. But then there are also some times where the cash ISA interest is lower than a regular bank account interest rate. So it really depends on the time. For now, I've moved most of my money into a cash ISA. Also, with a cash ISA, you can withdraw anytime. You have to be careful there though, and I'll explain that later. And I usually put money that I would need between 3 months to 2 years in my cash ISA. You can open a cash ISA with any bank, honestly. Mine is sitting with Trading 212. There are also some limitations here, and it applies to all the ISAs. It will make more sense if I explain it later in this video. To open an ISA account, you must be a UK resident and over 16 years. It doesn't matter if you arrived last month or if you've been here for years, you can still open that account. It's one of the easy ways to make your money grow faster and smarter without doing anything risky. Then there is stocks and shares ISA. This account is mostly for investing activities, and I've explained investments in this video right here. You can go and have a look. But essentially, you put your money in this account so that you can invest in companies' shares, bonds, mutual funds, index funds, investment, or any financial assets that will grow your money over time. When you invest, any money you make on that investment is free from tax. However, if you invest in US companies, your dividends might be taxed by the US government. There is a form that you need to fill for the tax to be reduced from 30% to 50% if you are in the UK. And for most of the platforms, you will fill this form before you even open an account, so you don't have to worry. You can use a platform that allows you to choose your own investments, like the one I use, or you can choose a platform that manages or does the investing for you. What I've realized with this ISA or with this account is that it's for long-term growth. I usually put money in there that I know I will only need in the next 5 to 10 years. Although you can withdraw your money anytime, depending on the provider you decide to go with. Historically, investing in stocks and shares ISA has given higher return than a regular cash ISA. So if you're into higher return and higher risk, then you might want to look into that. To open this account, of course, you have to be a UK resident. However, unlike the age limits for cash ISA, you need to be 18 years or above. Then the next one is your lifetime ISA. That is where the drama is. This account is for two purposes. It's either you are opening it to buy a house or you are saving for your retirement. When you put money into this account, the government gives you 25% bonus, which is basically free money. However, free things always come at a cost, right? So of course, there are terms and conditions here that you need to consider. The first one is you only have tax benefits on up to £4,000. This 25% has a limit. So the limit is £1,000, which means even if you go and put £6,000 into that account, the 25% will only apply to the 4,000. The government will still top up £1,000. So don't think that because they said, oh, government will give you 25% bonus, you go and carry all the £20,000 and go and put it in that account, thinking that you get £5,000 for free. This is how it works. If you put 4,000 this year, government will give you 1,000. If you put 1,000 next year, government will add on 250 to the money. They don't give you bonus on money that is already in the account. It is only the incremental deposit that you put on that they give you. I hope I'm making sense. Another thing is that a ISA account could be a cash ISA, which means you would earn the bonus and interest on your money, or a stocks and shares ISA, meaning you will get the bonus of £1,000 and you can also use the money and the bonus to make investments and still earn dividends or capital gain or interest. If you are saving towards your first home, then a cash lifetime ISA will be best. If you are saving towards your retirement, a stocks and shares lifetime ISA will be more appropriate. But of course, it's up to you and your risk appetite. To open this account, you must be aged 18 and you must be a UK resident. Once you open this account, you can keep paying into it and earning bonus until you are 50. Now, when it comes to withdrawal, you can only withdraw the money without penalties under certain conditions. The first one is either you are buying a house that is worth £400,000 or less. Also, it needs to be your first home. If you already have a house and you are buying a second house, if you are withdrawing the money for renovation, they will deduct some things from your account. And I'll get to that in a minute. Also, you should have opened the account for not less than 12 months before you can withdraw. So if you're planning to buy a house, you better go and open the lifetime ISA now so that you'll be able to enjoy the full potential of this account. If not, they will charge you left, right, center. It will even be best to not even open it at all. Also, you must use a mortgage. You can't go and say, I'm buying the house outright. If you're unable to meet all the conditions I've mentioned when you are buying a house and you decide that you still want to withdraw the money because you don't want to be charged or because of the penalties, then you would have to wait until you are 60 before you can withdraw the money. What will happen is that you would lose the 25% bonus that they were giving you year on year, and then also they will charge you some penalties on the actual money that you put in, which means you might lose some of your own money. That's why I'm a bit skeptical about this account. I'm not putting all my effort into it like that because it will mostly be for retirement. I want to enjoy life in the next 5 to 10 years. You are telling me 60. 60 cc. The next one is Innovative Finance ISA. This account allows you to invest your money into peer-to-peer lending. So instead of putting your money into the bank, you are lending your money directly to the people or to small businesses or property developers through an online platform. Now, after you lend this money to them, they will pay you back with interest. And because this one is very risky, the interest is higher than the cash ISA and even sometimes stocks and shares ISA. And you don't have to pay tax on the interest that you will earn. then you can open this account with a peer-to-peer lending platform, and you can also diversify by lending your money to different businesses, because there's a high probability that a particular business might not pay back and you will lose your money, and your money is not protected by the financial service compensation scheme. So it is not ideal for short-term savings or if you are saving for an emergency, and it's for people who know what they are doing, people who are more experienced. To open this account, you must be over 18 and a UK resident. And then finally, we have the JISA, which is the Junior ISA. It's just like your cash ISA or your stocks and shares ISA. However, this account, you open it primarily for your child, and you can deposit up to 9k a year into the account if you are rich. To open this account, you need to be a guardian or a parent of a child who is under 18, and the money is locked in until your child is 18. So if you think you're going to put 9,000 into the JISA, but it's money that you need, you won't be able to withdraw that money until the supposed child is 18. When the child is 18, the money automatically becomes theirs and it will be transferred into their name, and then the child will gain full control of the money and they can use it however they want. There are, however, some important things you need to know about ISAs. First of all, your total contribution across all ISAs must not exceed 20k per year, which means you can mix and match your 20k, and some people confuse this 20k allowance for each ISA. That is not the case, except for JISA. That one has its own limit of 9k. So if you put 10k in your cash ISA, you can only put 10k in your stocks and shares ISA. Also, your 20k allowance resets every year. This means that from 6th April this year to 5th April next year, you can only put 20k into your ISA accounts. If you don't use your ISA account or the whole of your ISA account within a particular tax year, you cannot roll it forward. It will reset such that next year the allowance will still be 20k. So it is advisable to max out your ISA allowance in every tax year if you have the money. Also, you need to be aware of the news that has been going around. So there's been some news that the government might reduce the 20k allowance. It hasn't taken effect yet, but you just need to keep an eye. Another thing is, with the 20k allowance, any gain that you get on top of the 20k allowance, you can still reinvest and it will still be free from tax. A better example would be if you have 15k in there and you gain interest of 1k and you reinvest that 1k, you will still have an allowance of 5k to top up. I hope I'm making sense. So also, depending on where you put your money, some platforms might charge you management fee, exit fee, some form of fees that you might not be aware of. The fact that they're saying it is tax free does not mean it is free from other charges. So before you choose a platform or you choose a provider, make sure you've gone through the terms and conditions and you are aware of the fees that they are charging. Also, before you put your money in an ISA, just check to see if there is another place that you can get a higher return rather than putting your money in an ISA, because sometimes a particular bank might be giving, I don't know, 6% interest, but then if you go and put your money in an ISA, it's giving you 4%, right? And even if you are taxed on that 6% and you do the math, you realize that you would actually be better off putting your money in that 6% account. Another thing is, ISA accounts can either be flexible or non-flexible. When I say flexible, what I mean is some platforms will allow you to withdraw your money, put your money back without it affecting your ISA allowance. So your ISA allowance is 20k. Now you already have 15k in the account, which means the allowance that is left is what, 5k. For a flexible account, you can withdraw, let's say, 2k from the 15k that you have. When you withdraw the 2k from there, you are left with 13k in there. Now you can put the 2k back without it affecting your ISA allowance. Your remaining allowance will still be 5k. With a non-flexible ISA account, with this 15k, when you take out the 2k and you bring it back, you will only have 3k ISA allowance left. I hope that is clear. So with a non-flexible account, when you are returning the 2k, the non-flexible account will recognize the 2k as a new deposit or a new contribution. But with a flexible account, it will only see it as money you took out and you are returning. It won't count towards your allowance. Also, only cash ISA, stocks and shares, and if ISAs can be flexible. If you're an immigrant like me, hear this loud and clear. You deserve to grow your wealth just like anyone else. So ISAs are not secret for the rich. It is a tool for the smart. So don't wait and let tax eat your future. Use the ISIS. Use them to your advantage. I will leave some links in the description box to help you get started. But remember, don't rush. Choose the ISA that fits your goal and your timeline. And if you are unsure, cash ISAs and lifetime ISAs are the best place to start. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment below. You can also share this with your friends and help them learn more about the ISIS like you have today. I will see you in my other videos. You still won't subscribe.